Hi everybody. I'm just here outside my house, just feeling compelled to talk to you today. I don't have any makeup on, don't have my hair done. I just wanted to show you that I look like a real mom, because I am one. I have 3 young children. One is 2.5, one is 5.5, one is 8.5, and they're the loves of my life, along with my husband. I'm here talking to you in honor of Suicide Prevention Week. And I wanted to just share a little bit of my own personal story. I have suffered from depression. It's a disease. And I've suffered from this ongoing chronic illness since I was 16 years old. And I'm now 39. I've had a long journey with it, a lot of ups and downs like any kind of chronic illness. And it just became a lot worse after I had my first child. And then during my pregnancy with my second child, I felt suicidal and very sick. And then during my pregnancy with my third child, I was incredibly sick, suicidal throughout most of the pregnancy. And it was just a really hard time. And then since then, in the past 2.5 years, I've gone up and down with my depression. I see a therapist every month, a psychiatrist, to help manage my medication. And it's pretty much under control right now. But, I have what I'll call flare-ups now and again where it gets really bad. I'll have several bad days in a row where I feel very suicidal and just like I can't function. But when it's happening, I tell myself that it's just the illness flaring up, that it's going to be okay. And I make sure to tell my husband what's happening. And then I make sure to call my psychiatrist and tell her. And with the support team of my family and doctors in place, I feel like I can handle it. But because it's Suicide Prevention Week, I wanted to just give a few thoughts I had on the issue. One being, for people who don't suffer from depression, or if you have a family member who does, suicide prevention for me isn't so much about preventing someone from committing suicide. It's empowering the person who is suicidal to get the help they need. It's the empowering to say, my mental health is just as important as my physical health, my career, my family, all the other things that make our lives great. Your mental health is very important. You cannot just say, oh, I will overcome. It's not that easy. It's just like any other illness. If you ignore it, it's going to get worse. So it's something you need to take measures to take care of yourself. So it's not so much telling people you love them and that you support them, which is great. And I love having the support and love of my friends and family. But what I need when I'm feeling my worst is to feel empowered to tell people how I feel and get help from a doctor, and that people are there for me and care. They pitch in, they help me with like the dishes or with childcare, or the things that are overwhelming me at the time. So I've been really lucky having that support system. When I feel like I can't function, there are people there who step in to take that load off so that I can get better and I can rest and I can medicate and I can get myself back to zero. And the other thing I wanted to just mention is really, this is really hard to talk about, and it's hard to talk about publicly. But if I don't share how I feel like I'm doing a disservice to other people who have suffered from this and who aren't here with us anymore. And I'm really putting myself out there. It's really hard. I've been suicidal more than a handful of times in the past year or two. And I just wanted to talk about how it feels. And I kind of shared this with my husband at the time, and I'm going to share it here. It feels like you're alone, even with family sitting next to you on the couch, watching TV, and you're sitting there, and all you can think about is how you feel isolated on top of a really tall skyscraper in the middle of a city, and there's no one around, and all you can hear is the wind and silence. And you are so overwhelmed and you're so freaked out and panicked, you just want to jump over the edge of that building. But you can't, because you have people who love you and your family, and you don't want to jump over the edge of the building, but you feel like that's the only thing you can do in that moment. So you feel like you're standing on the edge looking over, and there's nobody there to pull you back. Even though there is, you feel like there isn't, because it has to come from inside of you, yourself. You have to pull yourself back. You're the only one who has the control, is yourself. And when you finally come to grips with the fact that you are in control, you can step away from that edge and come back down the building and down the elevator. But you do need help. Like, you wish there was someone next to you, with you. So that's how you feel in the moment. You just feel so alone and sad and scared and helpless. But you have to realize that you're not helpless, and you can step away and take measures to come down off of that roof, the metaphorical roof. But I wanted to talk too about the mindset that I have in those situations. It's people will say, suicide is such a selfish act. It's so cowardly. How could you leave your family? How could you do that to the people you love? And I used to think that. I remember feeling like that. Like, that doesn't seem right. And it's not. It's. I can see how someone would say that. But you're not in your right mind in the moment. Your mind has twisted things, and they've convinced you that what you're doing is a loving, caring thing. I'm thinking at the time, my husband deserves a wife who's happy, who has energy, who can function, who's fun, who's this, that, and the other thing, right? At the time, I think, if I'm not here, that paves the way for him to have something better. Is that right? Probably not. But in the moment, that's what I'm thinking. And then I think my kids deserve a mom who's not yelling at them or angry or frustrated or manic, who is patient and can be there for them and has energy to play with them and be all these things I imagined I would be that I can't be due to my illness. I think if I'm not there, it'll be okay, because one day they'll get over it, and they'll have someone else there who is fun and who can be there for them. And again, it's coming from a place of love. Like, if I'm not here, it sets them free to stop worrying about me or dealing with my junk, and they can go on and live happy lives. It has nothing to do, like, I've never once felt like no one loved me. I felt very loved. I've always felt loved. I've always felt like everyone's there for me. Everyone cares about me. But it's just something in my mind twisted. And it says, well, they'll be better off without you. So the loving, caring thing to do is to remove yourself from the situation so that they can move on and have all of the things they deserve in a mom or in a wife. So that's the mindset that's happening at the time. So it's not like if someone says, I love you, I'm there for you. Well, they could tell me that all day, but that doesn't stop my love for my family and me wanting to do what's best for them. And in that moment, I'm convinced that that's the best thing. So what I've had to do is remember that that thought is a symptom of my depression. It is an outcome of this illness. And I have to tell myself, if I were to kill myself, I'd be doing the very thing I'm trying to prevent happening to my family, which is ruining their lives and making them miserable. If I'm not here, that's going to affect them the rest of their lives. And they're not just going to get over it. And it's not okay. And it's going to make things so much worse. The very thing I'm trying to save them from would be the very thing they have to carry for the rest of their lives. That's when I snap out of it and I run to my husband and say, look, this is how I'm feeling right now. I feel like I need to jump off a roof, blah, 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 blah. And I just tell him everything. I call my doctor. I do what I need to do to get better in that moment. And being aware of these thoughts has been the key. Knowing that when I'm getting these thoughts, the other side of my brain is saying, ding, 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 there's something wrong. Something's off. Obviously, this isn't normal thinking or typical thinking. You need to start taking care of yourself. I can't expect someone else to do that for me. I have to be empowered to say, something is wrong. I need to get help. It's nobody else's responsibility but my own. So I just want people to understand that. Give support to the people you love. Be there for them. Help them in their lives. Say, can I get your groceries for you? Can I watch your kids? Can I take your dog for a walk? Things that help them take the burden off them while they try to get better. Tell them, hey, come out to dinner with me. Let's get out of the house. Let's do something outside of your everyday routine that's going to break up the day for you. Those are things. But I want you to know that in my case, I've never not felt loved. I've never not felt people were there for me. So if you know someone or love someone who is no longer with us due to suicide, I just want you to know that more often than not, I really believe the mindset is not because they felt alone and helpless and that no one was there for them and that you could have done something more. That's definitely not it. It was a decision a person made out of feeling what's best for themselves and for their family, out of love. And their mind isn't in a right place because of this illness. And it's usually a spur of the moment thing that you keep thinking about, and then one day you just decide I'm going to do it. And it's an instantaneous thing that you can't take back. So I just wanted people to know, at least in my situation, the mindset that I was in, so that maybe it can shed some light or maybe some comfort for someone who might be suffering, having lost a loved one, that, it's an illness, and it's a really sad, horrible outcome of a disease. And I pray for people every day all around the world going through this. I'm in a good place right now. It's a day-to-day thing. It's a month-to-month thing. But like any chronic disease, I manage it and I do my best. And that's all. So I just wanted to let you know here during Suicide Prevention Week that this is a disease and this is a situation that affects so many people. Everyday people who are all around you that you might not even know are struggling and having a hard time. So just know that there's so many people out there who struggle and know how it feels and who are there. So please, if you feel compelled, share this video with someone who might be depressed or anxious or suicidal, and let them know, I've been there, I'm there a lot, and you can get through to the next day and just take it one day at a time, and you can get through it. Don't let your mind stay in that place. You need to be proactive, take care of your health, and tell your loved ones what's going on with you so everyone can be there to help. Accept the help. Let people help you and ask for help. And people are happy to help. That's another thing. So just put it out there. Don't be afraid, and know that you know, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and you don't have to live like this. It is not a forever thing. We just got to keep trying different medications, trying different things, be patient and give it time, and know that it will improve. So that's all. I hope this helps someone out there, and that is all. Have a good day, and thanks for listening.